United won, Leicester won. There was a question asked to Ralph in the press conference. Are you worried that the players, there's nothing to play for, the motivation's down? After that result, does that just confirm that you just need it to end as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I think it does. I think the best players in the world and the best athletes, anyone that's the best at their craft, when they're doing it, they'll hone in, they'll have this laser focus, and nothing matters. When they're in the moment, they're just looking at what they're doing. And when I watched that game, every player looked like they were up in the clouds. I mean, I watched Rashford, he was walking around in his warm-up. It's not just him, it's the whole squad. But no one if you looked at any single player there, could you say they were laser focused? Could you say that when they got the ball, they knew what they were going to do? They thought on the ball. You're not supposed to think on the ball, you're supposed to already know what you're going to do, play the pass, so then you keep the game running fast. And that's the problem when I watch it. It's not just the fact that they're not running back, it's the fact that they're not in the game. It feels like their head's up there and their feet are down here. And at this level of football, you can't do that because you'll concede. I mean, first two chances Leicester had, both half chances, they could have scored them. And it's because these lapses of judgment that you have when you're not zoned in, like Ralph said, they don't look like they even come in with an idea of what they're going to do, let alone the mentality. It was
do you feel like the players have mentally checked out? Do you think they've checked out? Like they've sort of given up? Maybe not on purpose, but they've sort of just resided to the fact that it's a difficult phase right now. Matic was talking about how difficult it is. We don't know who the manager's going to be. We're still waiting to get that. Yeah. I'm not making excuses, but does it feel that way to you? It
does feel like that, to be honest. It does feel like that. I mean, I don't know, I'm a United fan, so I'm not used to watching players that are checked in. That's the thing, bro, realistically. I can't compare it to anything, because the majority of what I've known is just them being checked out. But all I'm saying is, when I watch the greatest sportsmen and when I watch the greatest people, they all look checked in. And you just know it, you can see it. When someone, you watch the best boxers, before the person even comes in, usually you can see who's going to win and who's going to lose. That's sort of just the look that they have in their eyes. And when I watch them today, they look checked out, bro. Even the young players, they didn't know what they were doing. I watched Pogba come on, he's warming up, he didn't really look like he knew what he wanted to do. And it's the whole team, man, it's not one player. And it comes through silly mistakes, like McTominay, first 5 minutes, set the tone in the game. 2 passes, they go into the stands. And it's like, when you're playing at this level of football, any mistake, even if it's small, that will affect the whole of the game. Dalot needs someone to lead him. McTominay needs someone to lead him. There's no players in here that lead other people. I needed someone to grab the game and say, I'm going to control this. But everyone was waiting for someone else. You can't wait for someone else at this level, because if you wait, the other team will come back. And that's what happened. So it's so multi-layered, but it's simple at the same time.
Tactically today, I mean, we went with a 4-4-2 from the start. Rashford still couldn't get a start. He decided to play Pogba and Bruno up front ahead of him again, like in the Manchester derby. What do you think that's saying for him at the moment in terms of trying to get back to something that resembles Marcus Rashford? Couldn't get a start again.
I mean, to be honest, you've got to look at his confidence. Like, Bruno Fernandes played false 9, looked like, or it was some sort of 4-4-2 with 2 midfielders up front, and he can't get in the team. Now, as a player that's been lauded for the last few years as the second coming of Mbappe, the England's golden boy, United's golden boy, it's not exactly someone I want to be seen as a United fan. I've never been the biggest fan of Rashford, but it's not someone I want to see. And I remember a game against Middlesbrough, in the Cup, and I was literally right next to him when he came on, and every time he got the ball, the whole crowd was against him. It's not just certain United fans that already didn't want on the biggest favour with him. It's everyone now. They're noticing it, and he doesn't look bothered. I watched him warming up, and he just didn't look enthusiastic. But to be honest, when you've got the whole country not really thinking you're playing well, what's going to happen? But yeah, like he's just one of many, but it's the same. Like, I can't say it's this player, it's that player. It's just the squad as a whole, and Rashford's one example. And just because he's a bigger player, it's going to reflect more on him.
Speaking about the rest of the team, then, how important is it for you to get this manager in ASAP? Obviously, I know we're not going to do it before the season ends, but I mean, to get some sort of clarity. Everybody seems to want Erik ten Hag. 85 to 90% of the fan base want Erik ten Hag. Where do you stand on it, and how important do you think it is to just write this season off already and just get planning?
You can never write a season off. You shouldn't need to. Like, aside from the fact whether they're having a debate of whether we should or we shouldn't be in this position in the first place. That's the first thing we need to acknowledge. Secondly, when you come out on that pitch, it's not about necessarily results. Before the results come, before the trophies come, you've got to make the fans proud. You've got to use that badge and use the power that gives you. Forget the fact that we need to go to a trophy. Forget the fact that top 4, whatever. When you play for Man United, you look at that badge. I paid £40 to get here for university, plus the train tickets, plus everything else. They can go home to their happy little lives I've got to go home now. Everyone else has got to go home now. I was talking to a guy that came from Yorkshire. Before any of the results, before you find out any of the manager, these players need to understand you can't check out when you've got people that's livelihoods are spent on this club. That's the problem right now. Because when I spend as much effort as I do, coming over here, putting the effort in, following this club for years, and players can't even put their arse, like run for a ball, like Tellers at the end. Forget the manager, man. These guys are, like I say, back to basics. We've been saying it for years, though, and maybe Ten Hag will bring that, but someone needs to say to them, this is one of the most prestigious ideas. It's not a football club, it's an idea, it's a culture, and you need to respect that. You can't disrespect that, because the longer it goes on, the more it'll be tarnished, and if we don't respect it, who else will? Do you think Man City are going to respect us if we don't respect ourselves? Respect comes from yourself. Once you respect yourself, other people respect you, and the players don't even respect the badge.
Assuming that we do miss out on the Champions League, which looks almost certain, would that help us not being in Champions League next year or any Europe, or do you still want to see us getting some form of European competition?
Champions League, I mean, I guess go in it, but we'll get tonked out and embarrassed like we do every other year. We're not going to get it, so I don't even think there's any point talking about that. Europa League, okay, we get it. Blood the youth, more ways for the Glazers to save money, if we're being really honest right here. That's all it would be. You know, we wouldn't win it because we'd again get outplayed by a Spanish team or something. So it's like, if anything, I'd rather... I want to get in, obviously I want to finish as high as I can, but if we don't get the Europa League, am I that bothered? No, because I want us to focus on the Prem. Like, get the basics back. Forget for now, forget Champions League, forget the Europa League. Focus on, at bare minimum, putting the effort in, reflecting the badge, having a system. You shouldn't be thinking on the ball. These players, before the ball even comes to them, Dalot should know, I'm going to play this pass. But he's thinking on the ball, and if 5 players do that in a row, even if it's a tenth of a second, that's a whole second lost, and that can lead to an error. A second is gold dust in football. So it's like, all these things about Europa League, we need to go back to the basics. But again, I feel like I've been saying that for 10 years odd. I feel like every United fan, so it's like, I don't really know what the solution is, but I know what the problem is, you know what I'm saying?
To finish off, Ten Hag or Pochettino, or Enrique, or anyone else. How do you feel about it? Are you bothered, or just hurry up and get it done?
I think, look, Ten Hag, I think, is the person I'd like to go for, but I ain't the most well-versed person in all of their football. But I'd say Ten Hag. It don't really impress me that much, because I think the one thing we have all the passion in some senses, we have all the, the mentality, but we just don't have someone that knows how to win. And I know Ten Hag's had problems in the Champions League, but at least he knows how to win, man. And I think Ajax do. And if you can translate some of that into this United team, because the only person that does in this club is Varane, that's all we need, bro.
Do you think he can fix this?
God, I don't know if anyone can fix it, mate. I can't even lie to you, but he's the best bet for what we have right now. So that's all I can say, to be honest, G.